check this out, guys. Which build is missing? What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to continue working on this 2013 Nissan GTR, and our main goal is to get it 100% ready for the paint booth. We do got some minor body work on each fender, but it shouldn't take too long. We should knock that out pretty quick, and after we are done with all the body work, we're going to continue with the wet sanding process. The whole front end gets wet sanded, and also these doors, because we are going to be blending onto them. So we do got a good bit of work on our hands, so let's get into it and try to get this thing ready for the paint booth. Oh my gosh, dude, this stuff is hot.
Oh yeah, that stuff is real hot.
That's Bondo for you right there. Or actually, this is glazing putty, but Bondo's the exact same thing. Dang, it's hot.
Yeah, it gets hot when it starts drying out.
Starts reacting or whatever it does. It's like a chemical reaction, but we do not need much glazing putty here, as you can see. But we did throw it on it as like an even surface, right? I mean, you're the bodywork expert.
I'm gonna sand it down really smooth, basically sand it down till nothing. I'm just using this basically to get in the scratches, the very deep scratches.
Okay.
Because it really didn't need much, but that should be just perfect.
All right, so while that glazing putty is drying on that end, we are gonna move over here on this side, show you guys what we got going on here. Nothing too crazy.
Just a little corner right here where the headlight comes in contact with the fender. They don't actually touch, but
yeah, I can see
it looks like it's a little bit up.
It's high, exactly.
Yeah, need a little bit of hammering right there, and I think that should be it, honestly.
Yes,
so
sir.
Let's go ahead and remove this headlight. So both fenders are completely repaired. They're ready for primer, but we can't throw primer on it right now because we are completely out. So let's run to the store and grab some.
All right, so we are at O'Reilly's, man. These guys got the everything in here. This ain't your normal O'Reilly's. This is that big one.
This is the big one.
I know every single one of you guys do this. Lucas. Alrighty, folks, we got our primer here. Activator, what is that, right?
Yep, activator, 2K primer, gray, man. We're ready to go prime.
Let's go.
So before we actually start laying down some primer, I want to go around these edges with the 320 nicely, and then we're going to tape it up, throw some of that clear wrap on it, and then we can actually lay some primer down.
steps. Let's hit it.
Very light. That's it. Let's hit the other side. Done, man. Primer,
That's it.
Bodywork is completely done. Now we're gonna let that dry before we actually start sanding that primer. But in the meantime, we're gonna jump on them two doors and try to completely tear them apart so we can have them ready for that wet sanding process.
We did throw a little bit of foam tape in between that crevice there. And it looks like it worked great. Didn't let none of that overspray to go inside the engine bay.
Don't want that.
No, sir. So now that we got the car completely uncovered, we are going to take apart this door. And pretty much the only reason that we want to take it apart is to get this mirror off and also this handle and just any other trim that's over here, because we're going to be sanding the whole entire door. And we're gonna pretty much be blending halfway, or maybe even just to the edge right here.
Yeah, just to the edge, just as much as needed, honestly, just to blend it so everything is one color and it looks really good.
So the base coat is just pretty much gonna get blended, but we are gonna clear coat this whole entire door.
Yep.
So that's gonna get completely sanded, pretty much.
Yeah, so we just have to sand it with the 600 just like normally. It's just we're gonna blend it halfway.
Exactly.
So let's jump right into it, man, because I don't know how GTR
doors come apart.
Comes off, so we're gonna have to figure some things out. Let's do it, man. I'm excited to see how it all works.
There you have it, guys. That's pretty much what goes on inside of a GTR door. Some sort of weird aluminum bar, reinforcement bar. That is so weird.
Yeah.
But we are moving right along here. There's a few more things that we need to get to, like that mirror and also this piece of trim here, and then this door handle. The door handle, I think, is gonna be pretty easy. It should just be 2 bolts, but it may be something a little bit more complicated. GTR is a little bit more complicated, but we love a challenge. Now you just got one more thing over here, which is going to be this door handle and also the little rubber seal at the bottom here, which that's going to be very simple.
That seal, may leave that seal.
May just leave it taped on top of it pretty much.
Yeah, it'll be easier to tape that door open.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Seal on it.
Yeah, that's pretty dang cool, but it was a little bit difficult, a little bit complicated, but
that's your legendary GTR door handle. That's crazy. There was a lot of work just to get that off, but
you gotta have some good memory to put this thing back together, probably.
you definitely do. There's tons of little bolts and stuff, but I think we got it.
Yeah, we got it. So that's pretty much it for this entire door right here. Everything is taken apart. Now it's just pretty much ready to be wet sanded. But we're gonna go ahead and jump onto the other side first and take it completely apart.
Yep, while we're still fresh on our minds how to take it apart.
So much lighter without all that stuff. That's why it was just so hard to slam, but
oh yeah.
That's how we're gonna be getting in and out of the car when we're gonna be at the paint booth, because we're gonna clearly paint without the handles. And I guess we're just gonna throw like a tape line right here.
Yeah, definitely. Tape line right
here. Tape it up and tape all that.
We're not painting none of this, so it'll be super simple.
Exactly. So let's jump onto the other side, take it apart, and then we'll get to wet sanding.
Let's do it.
All right, so there you have it. We got this passenger side taken apart. Everything is disassembled. It is ready to wet sand. All we got left to do is pretty much pop out this headlight and we'll be ready to go. All right, so we got our bucket of soap and water. We got our sanding blocks. We got our sandpaper here. Don't mind the little Chick-fil-A mess. But here we have a few sheets of sandpaper, and my main goal is to pretty much not sand through on this door, because if I do sand through, that's gonna cause us to ruin our blending, because we do not wanna throw any paint past this point right here. So I cannot sand through anywhere on this door, but let's go ahead and get into it. He's gonna sand the prime areas with a 400 grit probably, right?
Yep, 400 grit right here, wet sand it nice and smooth, and the rest with the 600.
All right, so both of the primed areas are sanded, and that whole side is pretty much sanded. Let me show you guys what we got to touch up. So this is the matte finish we're going for, and any shiny area like here, for example, we will take care of that because the paint or the clear coat is not going to stick as well, right?
Yeah, the clear coat, any type of rock chip or anything that hits it will chip it super easily. So you want to at least have it just like this right here.
Yeah.
So.
See, that's not going to pass right there, but that right there is great.
Yeah, that's perfect. And with this door, we're trying to do very soft sanding on it because you don't want to sand through because it will just completely suck. Because then you're gonna need to sand this quarter panel
and blend to the quarter
panel. So that's why you see a lot of clear spots around this side of the door because he was doing it very lightly, trying to be very careful. You got to have that in mind when you're sanding. You can't just sit there and sand because if you do sand through, it's gonna suck. So
yeah, you're gonna be.
We learned from experience, and we're trying to help you guys. So guys, learn.
Exactly. Learn with us. Learn from our mistakes.
Learn from our mistakes. And I mean, that's about it. I mean, we just have to sand a little bit more right here. And on that side, I just finished sanding the primer. And this fender looks to be very good. That's how you want it everywhere. Might have to go along these little cracks right here and just sand in there with your finger. Nothing's too serious. As well as these little edges right here, we are sanding about, let's say, 1/4 of an inch down right here. About 1/4 of an inch, because when you do put a piece of foam tape right here or tape it up, you want it to spray in there and overlay on top of the other paint, so everything is nice and perfect. As well as all
almost
the edges.
OEM.
Yeah.
Almost OEM.
You want it almost OEM, as well as all these little edges and stuff. You gotta take your time, sand them too. And most people don't realize, but you do have to sand this as well because this is visible. Sometimes some cars, the
Fender
splash
liner.
shield or fender liner.
Yeah.
We'll cover this, but it's better to sand it and paint it so nothing starts chipping and starts a new little chip or whatever. You want it perfect. And as for this side right here, the primer is good. It's nice and dry.
We're sanding there
in like a few hours. Now I'm about to start sanding with the 600, and we're probably gonna. Are we gonna remove this hood whenever we?
For the painting process, we may.
I'm thinking about removing it because I just don't want no type of overspray.
Oh man, that's gonna suck.
Perfectly finished hood because that thing is beautiful.
Beautiful finish.
So good.
But we'll figure that out later. Let's go ahead and finish up wet sanding because this does take a good bit of time. So
yeah,
let's get at it.
But I want to mention one more thing. If anybody is wondering why we're not blending onto this panel right here, this panel from here to here is actually a black, a dark, flat black. This is not the same color as this. All GTRs have this black, no matter what color your GTR is. This is that nice dark black, no metallics, no nothing. So that's why we're not sanding it and blending it, because it is a flat black. As you can see, this has tons of metallics. This just doesn't have anything. Let's get to it, man. Let's keep on sanding.
So finally everything is wet sanded 100%. We did have to add some of this, what is this called, red putty?
Yeah, some glazing putty because there was a few rock chips right here, and that red glazing putty works wonders in rock chips. You just throw it in there, let it dry out, and then sand it with the 600 and it just fills it up super smooth.
Yes sir, we do not want any rock chips. We're trying to get a pristine paint job. So I mean, we are pretty much all wet sanded.
Yeah, we're
the front bumper. Where's the front bumper at?
Front bumper is out there. May need some red putty. It may not, but dude, we're pretty much ready. Dude.
We are ready for sure.
For the paint booth, dude. I'm super excited to get this thing painted.
It's going so fast, man.
Yeah, it feels like it's going so fast. I'm trying to slow it down, but we are doing mods, guys. We've been talking about it. That's our favorite word is mods.
Mods.
As you can see whenever we talk about a GTR. But you know what we're gonna do to it. You already know.
You already know. You know and you don't know. You know it's gonna be awesome, but you don't know the exact mods we're gonna do.
Yeah.
It's gonna be sick.
It's gonna be sick. I'm excited to start tuning this thing. I mean, it's already tuned. As you know, that Cobb tune, that older one, we need to get a new one, new passport. And charge pipes, guys, that's like my main concern is charge pipes. As you can see, these things are just the OEM. And look at that right there. What is that? Ain't that a Mitsubishi symbol?
Mitsubishi, man, on a GTR. I cannot believe that.
That's crazy. I wonder if that's like same company. Blow off valves Mitsubishi. That's crazy. However you want to say Mitsubishi, I don't even want to pronounce it. But dude, that is smooth the way that sanded out.
That paint job is going to turn out amazing. I can guarantee you it.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be pretty much it for today. We did get a head start and we got this thing almost ready for the paint booth. We got it all sanded. There's going to be some touch-ups to the front bumper, some glazing putty, some of that red putty for chips and stuff. We're going to make sure that looks really good because that's the face of the car. We want it to look amazing. But look at that, guys. We got it all sanded down. So we're going to continue working actually tomorrow. So see you then. All right, so it is the next day actually, and my brother Billy had to take off because he had to take care of some business. So before I wrap this video up, there is a few things that I want to do myself, and first thing I want to do is run to the dealership and actually grab some coolant for this GTR. That way when it is time to go to the paint booth, we'll be ready to drive it onto the trailer and into the paint booth. So that's the first thing that I want to do. Also, if you look closely at this bumper, there is a few touch-up areas, as you can see right there, and if you really look closely, there is a few rock chips and whatnot, which we did mention we're going to use the red glazing putty. So I may also take care of this bumper and make sure everything is actually 100% ready. So I'm going to head to the dealership and pick up some coolant. You already know I'm going to be whipping the Z01, and I also may give you guys a quick build update because we do have one build that is missing and a lot of you have been asking about it. Nissan, pulling up on Nissan in a dang Chevrolet. Feels good. Alrighty guys, so we got our fluid here, 3 gallons, should be plenty. I'll catch you guys back at the house. Alright, so we are back, and dang, the fluid was scattered. I will admit, I was having a little bit of fun out there. Alright, so this fluid is already pre-diluted. All I gotta do is fill her up to the top and that's it. And after that, I'm gonna drop her back on her wheels and just drop her off the quick jack, and then we can focus on that front bumper. Alright, so now that the coolant is good, we got the car down on all fours. It is ready to just drive out and get that final wash once we get to that stage. But now I'm going to move on to this front bumper. As you can see here, a few rock chips that we want to get rid of because that'll definitely show up in the paint job. We are going to seal this bumper, but still you want to get as much of that out as possible. I'm going to give this a really good wet sand and hopefully I can take care of all these little rock chips and dings. Alright, so I took care of all the rock chips with this acrylic glazing putty and I think we are good. All I got to do is just sand all that. But before I actually start sanding, I'm going to give you guys a quick update before I wrap this video up also. Alright, so I'm going to start with a 370Z. I know a lot of you guys were kind of confused that we got so many builds going on, but we are just revealing this. We are not currently starting this until we finish the Dodge Viper and actually the GTR. So that's just a quick little update on that. Let us know what you think we should do to it just to keep it in mind. And that's it for the 370 for now. Did we almost forget about the F250? I think we sure did, but this is still not our F250. A good buddy of ours, which is like a brother to us, he lets us borrow this whenever we want. He bought it from us, but now he just lets us borrow it whenever. So what do you guys think? Should we buy this thing back and just like do a tune delete, or should we just go with a whole different style truck, maybe a Chevy or a Dodge? You know, that Cummins may be able to outdo it, but I don't know. Leave your comments down below. Oh my goodness, you guys, some of you guys are gonna be mad. I think I'm pretty mad about this too. The Mustang is just chilling out here under the tree. I'm actually about to take it out there and give it a nice wash. It's just been pretty much just sitting, but we do got some big plans for this thing also. And as for the ZL1, we are planning on keeping it stocked because we are going to throw it on the market here very soon. And a lot of you guys have been asking about the Z06, which we did throw on the market and it is sold officially. So guys, that is going to give us a little bit more leverage to get another new awesome build. I hate to get rid of the Z01, but maybe in a couple of months, so we are gonna still have this thing for, I'd say, about 3 more months. Have fun with it. It has been a very awesome car. I mean, the interior is just one of the highest qualities, and the drivability is just amazing around corners and stuff like that. It is a very aggressive looking car, so I'm gonna hate to get rid of it, but we got some new awesome things on the way as usual. And you are gonna get a Viper video here very soon. It is so close to being finished. All we gotta do is put it completely together, maybe give it a buff and a polish. But stay tuned for that. Let us know which video you want to get next for Tuesday, either a GTR video or a Viper video. Let us know, comment your thoughts down below as usual. So with that being said, that's gonna be pretty much a wrap for today's video. I will finish this bumper off in the next GTR video, so stay tuned. Be sure to like and subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss out on anything. Also guys, be sure to follow us on Instagram where you can get an inside scoop there before YouTube. And if you haven't caught a piece of merch, go to goonsquad.com and support your boys. Thank you guys for all the love and support. Be sure to stay tuned and we'll catch you next time. Peace.